graphs of trigonometric functions and the reciprocals. In this video, we will look at how to create graphs of the trigonometric functions and their reciprocals. These would be y equals sine x with a reciprocal of y equals cosecant x, y equals cos x with the reciprocal of y equals secant x, y equals tan x with the reciprocal of y equals cotan x. Here are two definitions you will also need. The asymptote is the line the graph approaches but never reaches. The tangent is a line drawn through a point on the curve but does not pass through the curve. Now, let's take a look at how to create these graphs. Click on File, click on New Sketch, click on Graph, Plot New Function. The first function we want is sine x. We say yes because we want the units of measure to be in radians. Now we want to reposition our graph. We want to move it down. We want to make it a little bit bigger both ways so we can see the measures. And now we want to change the thickness and we want to change the color. So this is the graph of y equals sine x. Now, let's take a look at how to add the graph of the reciprocal to this. Click on Graph, Plot New Function. But you notice we don't have, under Function, a cosecant value. We do remember though that we could take 1 divided by sine x and get the reciprocal value. We're going to hit OK. And there we have the graph of the reciprocal. Now, let's change the line. Let's change the color. So we have created the two graphs. Now if we find we need to decrease so we can analyze better, we can do that as well. And now you're able to begin to analyze. Notice this graph here hasn't gone quite long enough. Just put your cursor at the arrow and drag it. Now we're able to analyze asymptotes and key points in the graph. So the magenta is your graph of the reciprocal and the blue is the graph of the original function. Perfect. Now, let's take a look at the same thing for cosecant, for secant and cos. So File, New Sketch, Graph, Plot New Function. Now we're going to start out with the parent function, the cos function. Move and reposition, change the height, change the width. However you want it. Okay, change the line thickness so it's easier to see. Change the color. Let's always make our parent blue. Alright. Now we're going to graph the inverse, the reciprocal. Plot new function, and we're going to enter here y divided by cos x, because we know that the reciprocal of cosine is secant, which is 1 over cos. So we're going to hit OK, and we have our graph. Let's change the color to, the line to thick, the color to magenta. There's our reciprocal, there's our original, and we are now ready to analyze the results. We can make it smaller, we can make it thinner, and you're good to go. Oh, let's make this a little bit bigger. And so on. Alright, last up, tan and cotan. So we want a new sketch. We want to plot the tan of x. And there we have our graph. Let's change it to thick. Let's change it to blue, our parent function. And now let's graph the reciprocal. Graph, plot new function. Cotan doesn't work, so we'll do 1 divided by tan works. Okay, and here we have, make it thick, make it magenta, and there we have our design. The magenta represents your reciprocal and the blue represents your function. Now you have the 3 graphs created. You are ready to analyze the results. Best of luck!